As they enter the room of requirement, they're surprised to find Dobby huddled over a makeshift table, hastily trying to conceal something. Harry, Ron, and Hermione exchange concerned glances, approaching cautiously. "Dobby, what are you doing?" Harry asks, his voice laced with concern. Dobby looks up, his ears drooping guiltily. "Oh, Harry Potter, sir. Dobby is only trying to help," he squeaks, his large eyes darting nervously between them. "Another student said you were doing some strange things, Dobby?" says Harry, looking at Dobby with suspicion. Dobby's ears droop even further as Harry confronts him. "Oh, no, Harry Potter, sir. Dobby is just trying to make, potions for friends," he stammers, his voice quivering with anxiety. He avoids making eye contact, fidgeting with the ingredients on the table. Hermione steps forward, her curiosity evident in her voice. "Yes, Dobby, what kinds of potions are you making? Perhaps we can help," she offers, her tone gentle yet probing. Dobby shifts nervously, his large eyes darting between the trio. Just some simple healing potions, Miss Hermione," he replies, his voice barely above a whisper. But there's something in his demeanor that suggests he's not being entirely truthful. Ron steps closer, his eyebrows raised in skepticism. "Yeah, if they're just healing potions, why not share one with me? I could use a bit of healing after all this studying," he says, eyeing Dobby warily. Dobby hesitates, clearly uncomfortable with the request. Well, they're not quite ready yet. Ron Weasley, sir," he mumbles, avoiding Ron's gaze. Dobby needs to finish them properly first. His ears twitch nervously as he busies himself with the ingredients on the table, clearly trying to change the subject. "Dobby, are you making drugs?" Ron asks. Dobby's ears droop even further, and he shifts uncomfortably under the scrutiny of Ron's question. Well, Dobby is just trying to help, sir," he stammers, avoiding direct eye contact. "They're not drugs, just, experimental potions." But his evasive response only serves to heighten the suspicion in the room. "Dobby, you're coming with us to see Dumbledore," Harry declares, his tone firm. Ron moves to apprehend Dobby, but before he can react, Dobby lets out a panicked squeak and makes a sudden dash for the door.
"No."
"Please, Harry Potter. Sir, Dobby didn't mean any harm," he cries, fear evident in his wide eyes as he tries to flee. Ron lunges forward to grab Dobby, but the determined house elf manages to slip past him, darting out of the room of requirement with surprising agility. Harry, Ron, and Hermione exchange startled looks before hurrying after him, determined to catch up and get to the bottom of Dobby's mysterious activities. "Ron, go get security," Harry says. Ron nods, understanding the urgency of the situation. "Right, I'll go get security," he says, determination etched on his face as he turns and dashes off in the direction of the castle's security office. Meanwhile, Harry and Hermione continue their pursuit of Dobby, determined to find out what the house elf has been up to. As Harry and Hermione chase after Dobby through the corridors of Hogwarts, they exchange quick glances, their concern growing with each passing moment. They know they must catch up to him before he gets into further trouble or puts himself in danger. With determination fueling their steps, they press on, determined to unravel the mystery surrounding Dobby's actions. Finally catching up with Dobby, Harry and Hermione manage to corner him in a deserted corridor. "Dobby, please, we just want to help," Harry pleads, his voice gentle yet firm. Hermione adds, "Whatever it is you're doing, we're here for you. You don't have to run." Dobby looks torn, his wide eyes filled with fear and uncertainty. But Dobby must help his friends, he whispers, his voice trembling. Ron arrives with security wizards and corner Dobby. "Freeze!" The security wizards yell, "or we will have to use force to contain you." Harry and Hermione watch as the security wizards raise their wands and cast a stunning spell at Dobby. The house elf lets out a whine as the electric shock courses through his body, causing him to collapse to the ground, unconscious. "He's coming with us," the security wizard says. Reluctantly, Harry and Hermione comply, knowing they can't argue with the security wizards. They follow along as Dobby is levitated by the security team. The next day, Dobby is brought to trial before Dumbledore. In the Great Hall, Tension crackled in the air as Dobby stood at the center of attention, his small frame dwarfed by the grandeur of the room. Dumbledore, seated regally at the head of the room, regarded Dobby with a mix of solemnity and curiosity. "Mr. Dobby," Dumbledore began, his voice carrying the weight of authority, "you stand accused of serious offenses against the laws of Hogwarts. How do you plead?" Dobby, his large eyes gleaming with defiance, squared his shoulders and met Dumbledore's gaze head-on. "I ain't pleading nothing to you, old man," he spat, his voice dripping with contempt. A murmur of shock rippled through the crowd as Dumbledore's expression remained unreadable. Hagrid, serving as the prosecutor, stepped forward with a determined look in his eyes. "Now see here, Dobby," he said, his voice booming with authority. "You've been charged with breaking the rules and breaking them bad. You can't just go round doing whatever you please." Dobby's eyes narrowed as he glanced at Hagrid. "And who are you to judge me, you oversized oaf?" he sneered, his voice laced with disdain. "You're nothing but a fat, bumbling fool." Gasps filled the great hall as Hagrid's face reddened with anger, but Dumbledore raised a hand to silence the outburst. "Order, please," he said calmly, though his eyes bore a hint of disappointment. "Let us proceed with the trial in a civil manner." Despite the tension, the trial continued, with accusations. As the trial reached its conclusion, Dumbledore's voice cut through the tension in the Great Hall. "Mr. Dobby," he said, his tone measured, "your actions have consequences, and you must face them." Dobby's defiance wavered slightly, his eyes flickering with uncertainty as he awaited Dumbledore's verdict. After careful consideration, Dumbledore continued, his gaze unwavering. "I have decided that rehabilitation is the best course of action for you, Mr. Dobby." A murmur of surprise rippled through the crowd as Dobby's expression shifted from defiance to disbelief. "Rehabilitation?" he echoed, his voice tinged with incredulity. Dumbledore nodded solemnly. "Yes, Mr. Dobby," he affirmed. "You will be placed in a rehabilitation program where you will receive guidance and support to help you overcome your challenges." Dobby's eyes widened with a mixture of relief and gratitude. "Thank you, Your Honor," he whispered, his voice choked with emotion. With a final nod, Dumbledore adjourned the trial, the weight of his decision hanging heavy in the air. As the great hall emptied, Dobby was escorted away, his future uncertain but filled with hope for redemption and a fresh start.